got that aimbot on my face right now.
What?
The aimbot.
Can you see it? The
that
tracker?
little square. Yeah.
Yeah, I put it on
All right.
on you. Hopefully it does both of us.
I think we're on the same plane, so.
But all right. I was trying to do that Nardwar.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched his outros?
Yeah.
And then he just pauses. What's up, everybody? It's E4 and Kit here. I am the AVP of video production here at Omni Commander, and today we're bringing you a new content creation idea. It's called Behind the Cut, as you can see behind us. This is a show that Kit and I came up with to kind of go through the creative process of how we make videos and all the stuff that goes into the behind the scenes stuff, the camera equipment we used on whatever shoot that we end up talking about for the episode, and just give people a little deep dive into our perspective of the shoots. Kit, give a little introduction for yourself.
Hey, I'm Kit. I do the video editing and animation here, and been here about three years now, going on 4 years. So yeah, just that's about it.
Wow, he's a great talker, as you can see.
Man, a few words.
Talk a little bit about, before we jump into the first review of the commercial, which, by the way, for the viewers watching and listening, we are going to cover a campaign that we did for Legacy Credit Union today in the first episode, and we had the opportunity to work with a very talented Trent Dilfer. For those of you that don't know, he's a former NFL quarterback, Super Bowl winner, decorated career in the NFL, but then also has been on ESPN, done plenty of player interviews, obviously. So very good on camera. So we're very excited about that opportunity. But before we jump into that, Kit, give everyone just a little background of kind of your start here at Omni Commander and how kind of things have progressed into how they are now as far as our productions go.
Okay. Well, whenever I first started here, I was actually a junior videographer. And after that, it's like I ended up moving up to just being, full videographer. And when I first started here, it was a big jump from whenever I came from my last position, because whenever I was with them, I was like by myself. I didn't have a lot of help with like equipment or anything like that. So it was basically whatever I had at the time. And whenever I came here, we actually had another person that was working with us, and they had a bunch of equipment. And so it was really nice to be able to have that equipment. And it was a pretty big learning curve as far as like, properly using it and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a jump, and then I feel like that we've continued to progress like our equipment that we have, and we keep like stepping up in the quality of not only the equipment but the editing we do. And I feel like that we've come together as like a cohesive team, and now we have like a unified direction and like how we edit, the look of all of our content. And I feel like, every day we like strive to progress and like keep pushing ourselves in our edits like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really cool just in the short amount of time that I've been here to see going from something that it was just kind of like a new put together team to actually coming through to being a nice cohesive team, and the content's really coming with that too. And I feel like the quality of it and edit and how it comes together. So it feels like a short time, but it's a lot of progress in that short amount of time.
100%. And like, I feel like when people joke around and say like Omni Commander, for those of you that do know, Omni Commander operates in like dog years.
Mm-hmm.
So like 1 year goes by and it's 7 years for a dog, right? So like that's how it feels for us. Like I feel like every month is a year. Mm-hmm. Almost like we learn so much, we push each other to do so much. We are always challenging each other in a good, positive way. Like, what if we did this, or what if you tried this, or whatever. And it's always just to better the edit. And that's kind of how we approach everything that we do, is how can we be better? Like, no feedback is bad feedback, because no one is saying things in a nasty way. It's all constructive. I personally, and a lot of people don't know this, am colorblind. So I don't talk about that very often, but to be a team lead, especially in a colorist, like at heart, like I love color. I love taking things from plain log footage for the technical people out there, and putting color onto them. I like strive in that, and I have a look that I enjoy. But like, being colorblind is really difficult to be like successful in that. So I lean on the team a lot, especially Kit, and his eyes, because I can't see a yellow tint sometimes, or if something looks a little too pink, sometimes I can't see it. So together as a team, I think we are continuing, like you said, strive to be better, push each other to be better. And it's just been a great couple years working together, and we'll jump right into it. And you can see this is actually a past project that we've worked on. It was about almost I think a year ago now.
Yeah.
But looking back, you can look at our content. Feel free to go check out our YouTube channel, check out all of our social medias, check out our clients' social media, check out Legacy's social media, because we're about to talk about them. But you'll see the progression in the things that we do. Every year we get better, every month we get better. But we're going to go back to an edit that really just speaks to us, and the overall experience was just a really good experience. So
before we hop into it, I just want to say, I thought it was funny the way that we found out you were colorblind. Like, we were looking at the video and we were like, what? That doesn't look like that color. And you're kind of like, all right, I guess it's a good time to tell y'all that I'm actually colorblind. And we're like, what?
Yeah. So, it's funny because Justin, one of our web developers, is colorblind as well. And Kim and Eric were nice enough to buy him colorblind accessible glasses, so he could better see the colors that he couldn't. And I just thought that was like super cool, and I kind of kept it to myself, that because I mean, I'm in a video position. I wanted to be a team lead at the time when I first started, but I wasn't there yet. So now looking back at that moment was like super funny, because I'd been here for like 2 years. We had a ragtag team of people working together, like Kit was talking about when he first started. And yeah, it was just, I was like, okay, I guess I gotta spill the beans now, because I've been putting on a facade for this long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's getting better. It's not, I can't like train my eye, I guess, because I literally can't see it. But I feel like the more and more I do things, the more I see of what looks good, I just try and replicate that.
Yeah.
So like, I can make something like 90% there, but then need that, like, hey, this looks a little too yellow. Hey, this looks, and then I drop the tint 10% or whatever, and then boom, it's done.
Right.
So it's never like huge things that I can't see. But yeah, it is a funny way.
Yeah. It was a funny way of finding out. Yeah.
But like I said, I want to take a look back at this edit and really just appreciate the process that we went through editing it, and then also the production phase whenever we got to shoot with Coach Dilfer, because it was a great experience overall. So let's hop into this, and just so you guys know, we're all going to be watching this together. I'm not going to pause the first time through. I'm just going to let everyone enjoy it, and then we'll go back and talk about the key points once we get finished with it.
Birmingham's local credit union since 1955, Legacy Credit Union is your key to a winning season. I'm Trent Dilfer, head football coach of the UAB Blazers and Super Bowl champion quarterback. Legacy's a proud supporter of the UAB community, including UAB Athletics. It's time to review your financial playbook and let Legacy assist you in crafting a winning financial foundation. Begin crafting your legacy with Legacy Credit Union.
First thing I want to say, shout out to Leia at Legacy Credit Union, because normally we do the script writing. I take pride in that. Like, I have a lot of fun script writing. She wrote all the scripts for all these videos.
Yeah.
There was like, I think 25 videos in their package or something. Shout out to them. I think it was the biggest one that we've ever done as a company. And I hope to do more work with them as well. But the script writing was so good.
Yeah.
Like, obviously he does a great job at saying what he's talking about, but he did such a good job of portraying what was being said.
Right.
So overall, just like the sense of community that they're trying to push, the openness to the new members, because that's what all of our credit unions are trying to do, is just not necessarily get bigger, but bring more people in to experience the credit union difference, which is something that we talk a lot about in our personal marketing for Omni Commander. So just crushed it.
Right.
Just crushed it.
Well, I feel like it really helped that she wrote them too, because they know exactly what they want. And it's like sometimes, we think we know what they want, or like we have a roundabout idea from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
But her writing those kind of gave the inside perspective, and it is exactly what they want, what they're trying to target. And so that was nice that we weren't having to guess what they wanted.
100%. And I feel like it helped too, because it's very rare that we have clients on set. Now, for those of you that are from a production background or have worked on major commercials or have worked on major sets, like a lot of the times, I mean, almost 100% of the time, in some way, shape, or form, the client is on set and they're watching everything that is happening, whether that's through a monitor or what have you. We were fortunate enough to have them on set for these. So whenever Dilfer was going through, before I cut cameras, I could say, look, hey, Leia, Caleb, was that a good take? Like, did you guys like that? And once I got the thumbs up, we'd move on to the next one. Which almost every time it was first take for this guy, because like I talked about earlier, like seasoned professional, like crazy experience. But it just overall was a really good experience. Something funny, actually, talking about how seasoned of a professional he is. When packing for this trip, we drove there. So we're based in Florida, Miramar Beach area, Santa Rosa. And they're in Birmingham, Alabama. So that's only like 5 hours, I think, for us. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad of a drive.
So we drove there, and I brought the equipment with us, and I'm like, oh, no big deal. Like, we'll bring as much as, whenever we have those opportunities to drive to places, we're able to bring almost all of our equipment, because why not? You can just slam the car full of everything we have. And for some reason, I just decided to not pick the teleprompter up whenever I was packing for this trip. And I didn't realize until the day of, when I woke up that morning. I woke up at 6:30 that morning in almost like a cold sweat, because I was legitimately like, I just ruined this entire shoot. Like, because I knew how many videos we were going to do with him specifically, and I was like, oh my God, what if he's not good on camera? And then we have to find a way to feed the script to him, and he's not going to be able to do it, and he's going to get frustrated, which is what I really didn't want to, because he's a professional guy, and I'm not trying to waste his time. He's a coach. This was before his first year of coaching, so like everything, there's a lot of pressure on him for the season. And so I was like, there was just so many things that were running through my head, and I forgot the teleprompter, and we get on set. We start putting things together, and I'm like, oh God, This is it. This is the moment that that ruins my career or whatever, because I'm just thinking the worst, even though it probably wouldn't be that bad. But we ended up running the teleprompter app on my iPad off camera. So if you really look back at the commercial and watch him look at the A cam, he's never looking directly at the camera. He's looking past it, which is something for those of you that are out there that maybe can't afford a teleprompter setup. You still can use one. You still can use an application for one, but you just have them barely look off camera. And I know it's not everyone's favorite thing because you're like, oh, well, their eyes, you can see them reading even more. Watch the ad back and tell me how much you can see of him reading. Because with the layering of B-roll, with the layering of animation, with the layering of a B-cam, it's hard to see. Yeah. It really is. And then if you really are serious about it and you're really worried about it, you can have him run through the ad. And then once you get done, feed him a couple lines or feed your talent. I don't know why I keep saying him because I'm still thinking about Dilfer. Right. But feed the talent a couple of lines that you think are important in the script and then have them read it directly to the ACAM, which we did have him do. A lot of the endings and finishing statements of almost all the commercials, I think I had him read back directly to the camera for that reason, because it was something that I was trying to be mindful of. But what was your first thoughts going into that day? I mean,
my first thoughts were like, I guess, first off, it was great being able to work with him, and you were talking about it, you kind of touched on it already. Sometimes it's like some people aren't so confident on camera, or they don't remember their lines, or they can't use the teleprompter as well. But being able to work with him was like, it was definitely a blessing, because we didn't have to like jump so many hurdles that we usually do with other clients or whatsoever. But another thing that I was going to touch on is, even though, you know, we may not have had the teleprompter, I feel like one of our strengths, and one strength you have to have in this field as well as others, is adaptability. And I feel like whether it's like with this, or like sometimes whenever we go on flights, we aren't able to take all of our equipment, so we're kind of having to adapt to the situation, or wherever they want the scene to be shot, having to like make the most use of like natural light coming in, and work with what we do have. So I think a lot of it too was, I was excited to be on campus that day. And I mean, you know, I've been to UAB before, but I never got to see it quite like this. I mean, we got to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people don't get to see, and that was really cool to be able to shoot and work with the people we did get to work with.
So obviously going into this shoot, we knew a big focus for our Legacy was those college students. They have a lot of ties to the college. So they actually have a partnership, and I'll actually go back to the shot right now real quick. Let me pause that and go back. Let's see if I can find it quickly. So that's the shot of the city, and then we have the shot of the pavilion. So this was a drone shot that I took of the Legacy Pavilion. You can see the UAB logo in the center of the field there. That's actually where we were shooting. But Legacy has a partnership with UAB. So they actually funded this pavilion, and that's why their name is on the side. You'll see their name throughout the city. Because Legacy is a big part of the community, and they're very proud of that. So it was just really cool to be able to shoot there at UAB, like you mentioned. Whenever we do these shoots, normally we set up a B-roll day, and then we'll shoot with the client on one day and shoot interviews the next day or what have you. The way this was structured for this week was, we got there, I believe, on a Monday. I think it was Monday to Friday, because we used to do Monday to Fridays. And we got there on Monday, and as soon as we got there on Monday, it was like so nice out. We literally just started walking.
Yeah.
We walked almost the entire campus and just shot handheld B-roll all over, slow-mo, drone shots, whatever. I think we got almost all of our B-roll done in the first day.
I mean, we covered a lot of ground.
We really
did.
So being, like you said, being able to see the campus from that perspective, from a student's perspective, was super cool. And like you can see through the edit and through our other edits that we got to do with the coach, a lot of the footage we were able to implement are of known areas for the students. So if they ever watch this back, they're like, oh, that's cool, it's our coach. And then, oh, that's cool, that's the student union building. Like, so it's like all things that are recognizable, and that's why we do this stuff, and we are so detailed whenever we go into shoots, because the pre-production planning for this stuff is just as important as the actual shooting.
Right.
So going into it, we're like, we need to set aside time to get all these shots. And we just had so much fun. I mean, shooting B-roll is always fun.
For sure.
Because we get to just kind of go through and find shots that we think look good. And it kind of lets your creative side come out, because you think like, oh, well, maybe we could cut off going off this pole and we'll mask it out and use it as a transition. And there's things that go through your head whenever you're shooting this stuff that just makes it so much more fun. And you can like already start to picture the edits in your head. So I personally really like flying the drone. I think it's not only something that is fun, but it adds just that next layer of not only creativity but professionalism to your stuff, because not everyone can do it. Not just fly the drone, but fly the drone well enough to get some of the shots. And I'm not talking about these FPV shots that people are flying down buildings and doing drops and stuff like that, but just like being able to fluidly like move the camera as you're flying down, and just have things constantly be smooth and not jumpy.
It's more of that cinematic kind of like location establishing kind of shot.
Right.
Which I think that goes back to what you were saying before of like being on campus, shooting in the locations. I feel like it makes people connected to the video too. And I mean, like if somebody did a video of, you know, the college I went to, I'd be like, oh, hey, yeah, I recognize the area. And like you immediately start thinking about like all the stuff you did there, like, you know, activities or whatever like that. Yeah. So I think it, it just makes them connect more with the video.
Yeah, 100%. And just to go back to the field aspect, obviously you can see that it's very pretty. So it's not always pretty. So if we go back to the talking point, you can see that it's very dark. So we shot unknowingly on a day that there was a rainstorm that was coming in. It was very brief. We got lucky with that, but at the time of shooting this specific segment and a few others, there was a huge cloud over the background, or just over the pavilion in general. So you'll see that he's very lit up and very separated from the background. So that looks really good. Like I wasn't mad about it, but again, shows that adaptability. Right. So it looks really good. I was really happy with how this came out, how the color came out. Again, that goes back to, excuse me, 1 second. Again, that goes back to me being colorblind and needing a second eye. When making this edit, I just wanted to make him look good. Like that was the first thing that was on my mind, you know. How do I make him look as professional as possible, make him look so he's not washed out, make his skin tone nice and warm. Because I mean, whenever we're doing these things, we're trying to encapsulate not only who the client is in these edits, but also who the talent is. So like if I get when I'm directing and I'm interviewing somebody, if I get like a warmth, like energy from their story, like maybe I'll tone it up a little bit more because of that. But the same thing with Dilfer, like he was so happy and like so energetic. Like I wanted people to feel that. And that's where like the music comes in. I used like a triumphant band because that kind of ties into the football theme. But it also ties into how much energy he brought.
Right.
So like if he would have been a little monotone and not as energetic or hype, I guess you could say, on camera, I maybe would have brought in a more mellow style of music to kind of back up the pacing and tone of his voice. But that being said, sometimes I'll do the opposite too. Like if someone is a little monotone, sometimes I'll put fun music behind it to bring the energy that the ad needs, because maybe it's a car loan and for one of our clients, and we got some audio that's not your typical radio ad where the guy is screaming at you, "Hey, we got 3.99% coming
Get
to
on down here,
yeah, exactly. So sometimes we don't always get that. So we have to adjust what we do in the creative process when we're editing these things to help showcase what the client wants. So just talking about B-roll, because I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, but I wanted to go back to this shot of Legacy's Credit Union. So this is one of their many branches, but Kit actually shot this shot. Looking back, is there anything that you might have changed, like looking back at the shot?
Knowing what we have now as far as the equipment and everything, back then we didn't have a gimbal. And for those who don't know, gimbal is basically like a rig or mechanism that you actually mount the camera to. And it helps make all your shots like balanced and stable where there's not a whole bunch of jittering. And so knowing that we have one of those now, I probably would have put the camera in a gimbal and made it a little more smooth. And this one, it was like, it's kind of smooth, but it's like we're also having to do that in post-production, trying to smooth it out. And sometimes that doesn't always work, so you're kind of taking a risk there. And another thing was it was kind of overcast that day. As you can see, I think it was kind of like on and off that week, like cloudy, not cloudy. But probably we could have thrown on like a polarizer and
bring out some of the definition in the clouds that were there.
Exactly. Kind of like, pull back the highlights and bring up the shadows, make it less contrasty.
Sure.
So that way we can pull out that detail. And then if we need to in post, we can either get rid of that or whatever.
Sure.
So it's just about having more options. And maybe I think those two things immediately like stand out to me. Yeah.
My biggest thing, speaking about like the look and color and everything, whenever going through this footage, it didn't take a ton of stabilization. I think like when you get to the point that we are in our careers and coming up for me without the equipment to be able to do that, like a stabilizer, gimbal or whatever, coming up without that has helped me so much now that like I know how to steady a shot using my body, which you did the same thing here.
Got to get
to the best of your
legs going or the
to the best of your ability, right?
Yeah.
But you can see that you've done it before, you know. But just a tip for people that are editors out there, and this is just something that I like to do whenever it's an overcast day, similar to this one. I like to just bump the highlights up. So make it look like it's as clear as day outside. Forget all the clouds. I know that's crazy to say, but forget all the definition in the clouds and bump it up in your highlights. That way it looks like it's just super sunny. And then obviously add some warmth to it, to give that sunny feel. But kind of instead of going through the sky replacement process and motion tracking that or masking and all that goes into that, just bump those up. That's like a really quick, easy way to get through something like that. But overall, I think the shot came out really good. If you notice, and I talked about music earlier, when you go back and watch this edit again, go over to Legacy's YouTube channel. You should be able to find it. But when you go back and watch this again, you'll see that the music is timed out to all these transitions. So there's a beat that drops here, and there, just to give some fluidity to the commercial. And also, like I talked about earlier, like tempo and pacing. It's just something to be mindful of.
And I feel like a lot of the times too, it's like when you do it right, you know, the person watching never notices or anything like
100%.
that, talking about being on beat. And it is a visual thing, but it's also like when you watch it, it's like, how does it make you feel? You know, you're going back to the music and being hyped up.
Yeah.
And it's like, if something is off beat or something like that, like the viewer, I feel like either obviously knows or like, you know, subconsciously knows like something doesn't feel exactly right.
Sure.
So I feel like it's as much how it feels watching it as it is how it looks like visually.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Something I wanted to point out here, and a lot of you will know, he talks about financial playbook in this section. And I just was like, that has to be a playbook moment.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I initially was just going to do these X's and O's on top of him and just have it be black or something, black and white, or even Legacy's colors, green and white or blue and white. But I was like, why don't I try and mask him out? So this was in the early days of me transitioning into only using DaVinci, which I prefer to use it now over anything just because I've gotten comfortable and it's a easy process for me. But using DaVinci's masking and tracking here was like game changer.
Oh, for sure.
Game changer.
It's tracking. Like, I love After Effects, don't get me wrong. But like the tracking and masking on DaVinci is just like unmatched, especially going from After Effects to DaVinci.
Yeah. So going back to the cloudy day and the separation that it gave us, it also gave me a green light to be able to like really easily mask him out because of how different he looks from the background. So with DaVinci's tools in the color tab, for, like I said, those of you that are editors out there, you'll know this. And if you don't, here's a tip. In the color tab, there is a selection tool in there that you can use, and you literally can just highlight the person that's on the screen. And if the separation is good enough between the person and the background, it will do it like that. And I got lucky in this moment, and it literally did it like that. And I threw the X's and O's behind him, and I was like, this is sick.
As soon as I watched this edit back, like when you sent it, like it was just like, that was just like icing on the cake, and it being behind him, I feel like it was definitely better putting it behind him. It took it from like here to here, you know? And like, it was just like perfect coming in with like the word timing and all that stuff. So like this is my favorite part, I think, of this edit.
100%. And I will say this too, if you look back at Legacy's other stuff, we were like really getting the hang of using that tool. And I noticed that you had implemented it in some of your edits with like the blue overlay that comes in and then the text that comes up. So it really just helps like build that. Like, we obviously have separation from the background, but like when you want your talent and your text to stand out, that's like two different things.
For sure.
So like when you were able to bring that blue overlay in and put the text on top of it, and you really could see it stand out when you're talking about rates or talking about promotional things, it was like really helpful. So make sure you check out Legacy's YouTube channel, like I said, to look at more of the edits that we've done for them. But just a very cool moment and really opportunity for us there with that edit. And overall, I mean, just a great experience with Legacy. Like I said, maybe next time we'll jump into the edits that we were able to do for the testimonial side, because that's a big selling point for a lot of our credit unions, is as to why we go there. Like, it's very rare that we go and there's talent that is like ready to do these promotional advertisements and we're going to do all these 30-second ads, and they're going to go on TV, and they're going to go in the football stadium and all this stuff. Like, that is very rare. Like, this whole opportunity was super rare. So maybe next episode we dive into something that is a little more common for our credit unions, which is the testimonial side of this. So you guys can kind of see how we approach storytelling, how I direct those people whenever we're on set, because I'm not flexing, but it is a talent to like talk to people and bring out what you want to hear.
Oh, yeah.
And what clients want to hear.
For sure.
Because I think, and I'm going to say it now, episode 2 is going to be Legacy or someone else, but a testimonial. And we'll talk about storytelling. But I think that it takes a talent to be able to get them to say what you want them to say.
Right. Well, and still keep in that story format. It's like you may get the answers you want, but it's like you still got to be able to put the edit together without them just being like, yes, no, yeah, we did this or whatever.
100%.
And I feel like, like I like your approach to it whenever it's just like talking to them like it's just a conversation,
Yeah.
And then sometimes, they will have to say it in like a full sentence format or whatever, but yeah. But a lot of people that don't want to get on camera end up being a lot better at it than what they think. Like, I mean, here recently, like, I don't know if we want to let that one go yet. We'll save it for later.
Yeah, we'll save it for later.
Somebody recently, like, didn't want to get on camera, and they ended up, like,
crushing
it. Oh, yeah, first try. So, yeah, it's just, like, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that they can do it, and it just takes a little bit of encouragement for them, too.
Yeah. And, I mean, that goes for anyone. Like, if you guys keep an eye on our YouTube, like I have a video that is coming out, I want to say in probably this month, August or September, depending on when this edit gets done. So I don't want to date it too much, but hopefully we'll get it done quickly. But with that being said, I had to get on camera for just short content. It was literally 30, 45 seconds of me talking about why I think what I'm doing is important for the credit union industry. And for me to talk about it is like super easy. Like, I think that everyone should be a part of a credit union because credit unions are different than banks. And that's not to say that banks are bad, but credit unions just offer this sense of community and sense of almost that you're working with your neighbor to get things done on the financial side, and like there's a comfortability with that. And I just had to get on camera and say that. Why is that a big deal?
Right.
And it just is so hard. It's not easy. I promise you, like people like this, people like Trent Dilfer, people like Eric Isham, like get on camera and they make it look easy.
For sure.
It's like they don't even think about it. They're just talking to everyone that's watching, which is crazy to me. But that comes with a lot of practice and stuff like that. I will say, just speaking on Eric's behalf, he's always been great on camera. But whenever we first started, you'll see there's like way more outtakes. Like when I first started, it was just me. So going back to the history of like Omni Commander, it was just me. And I was like, we should do video. Like I actually came on as a videographer and graphic designer because we didn't have any video projects yet. So I was like, we should be doing video. Eric was totally on board. He knew that. That's why I got hired. I brought my camera in and we just started shooting. And I think we shot over 200 videos in the first year I was here.
Yeah.
And that's like so crazy to say. Like set up the camera, shoot the video, take the cards out, go to my computer, edit it, send it to him same day. Like I think we almost got a video out almost every day of the year. Like that is insane. When
it goes back to like what you were saying at the beginning of all this, like I was saying, like, 1 month feels like a year here. And I think that's just because like, we go on that work hard, play hard mentality. And that's like the quantity of videos we put out is, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like we're also we're able to keep up the quality of the videos too. Which
for sure.
I feel like that's a hard combination to keep.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with that. I mean, with anyone, you'll see like a lot of people are pushing towards like AI and stuff like that, and like how can we get things done for less money and quicker. And it's like, well, just add one more person to your team. That'd be my first suggestion. I know that sounds crazy, but like you're like, oh well, I gotta factor in giving money for this extra employee and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, well, you would also be putting money towards software or towards that AI tool or towards whatever. And anything you get from those things is never going to be perfect. It's never going to be exactly what you want. So if you just bring in, like we have 3 people on our team now, and we have for a little while now, over 2 years, but like just that addition and like really honing in on who we are as a team, and like you said earlier, like being cohesive and like being able to work on anything together is like, we can get stuff done. Like we just went to Members Choice, cat's out of the bag. Kit was talking about Members Choice earlier with the CEO, which we'll dive deeper into that as well on another episode. But we just went to Members Choice last week. We already have all their videos done for their package today. It's been 1 week. And we have 5 polished, like professional, ready to go on TV videos for the client. And that's because we have 3 people, and not everyone touched it. Just being able to have one person dedicated to other client work while we're working on this client. Like we got to work on Members Choice while you worked on Omni Commander stuff, because we also produce content for Omni Commander. So it's like being able to divvy up time is going to be more beneficial than trying to go the cheaper route, and then you end up with products that you're not necessarily happy with.
Right.
So that's why we encourage people to get these video packages and work with us on these projects, is because you don't have to hire a video team. Like say you're a small to mid-sized credit union, you really want videos. Like you really want commercials for your credit union. And you're like, well, how do we do it? Do we hire someone? Do we get Melanie, who's in the back running your marketing, to shoot it on her phone? Like you go through all these things, and it's like, we are an asset to you. So if you need videos, just call us. Like I will travel across this whole country. I'll go to a different country if I have to, because I just love doing what I'm doing. And it's very rare that you'll get to hire someone that has that same energy. Like we genuinely love what we do. We genuinely love the entire process that goes into making these videos and pushing ourselves to make better quality content each time. We want to do that for as many people possible. Like I want to go to all the credit unions that we can, because like I said in my interview, I had to talk about how great credit unions are. And it's like, well, people don't know it unless you say it.
Right.
So if you guys aren't putting stuff out on TV, if you guys aren't putting stuff out on streaming or social media, whatever, like no one's going to know about how great your credit union's rates are. No one's going to know how great your employees are, or the experience that someone had when they were getting a loan. I remember going to a credit union, and one of the people, they unfortunately had a family member pass away, and the credit union just fronted them money for the funeral, because funerals are very expensive, especially if you don't have life insurance. So they just fronted the girl the money. Like, name another place that's going to do that.
Yeah. Well, and to touch on that more, it's like when I first started working here, I wasn't 100% sure what a credit union was. It's like I had heard of it, but hadn't really looked into it. And it was like through working here that I learned more about it. And it's like you hear that it's more of like the community aspect, everything like that. And it's like the more trips we went on, and the more I saw the credit unions working for myself, that's whenever I saw really the community aspect. I mean, just like when we went to Midwest Liberty.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a small group working there, but they know
4 girls.
Yeah, they know everybody that's working or coming through the drive-through
Drive-through.
area. Everybody that comes in, they know them by name, and it's like they are genuinely happy to see them come in, and the people coming in, their members are genuinely happy to see them. And so it's like, the more I work here, the more I see the credit unions in person. It's like I understand that aspect, and it really does make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. So, if you guys like this video, feel free to drop a comment below. Tell us what you liked about it. Tell us what you liked about the advertisement, what you didn't like about it. I'd love constructive feedback. We talked about that earlier. Give me your thoughts on it. If you don't like it, tell me why you don't like it. Don't just say you don't like it. That's the biggest pet peeve for a creative is like, don't just say no, just say why.
Right.
Give me why. So feel free to comment. Can be positive, can be negative. Just give why if it's negative. And we hope to make more content like this. You know, I really enjoy the podcast vibe or just talking because I think stuff like this is important. Getting to show our creative process is fun. It's something that we don't get to do very often. So like I said, hope you enjoy the video and hope we get to make episode 2.
Oh, yeah.
And keep this rocket ship moving.
I'll just go ahead and say, we'll see you next time. That's what's up.